Welcome to the cognitive walkthrough for Hitachi microwave model MGE25, and we're looking at the user interface for the microwave. I'm going to perform some small tasks using the interface. Firstly, using the various buttons. These are the 6 main buttons for the microwave. That's the toggle wheel. Obviously you'll use that. Spinning it to the right will increase values, spinning it to the left will decrease values. So here we go. Firstly I'm using the toggle wheel to select the food type. This is pretty simple and easy to do. The toggle wheel is not labelled as to what it does. You only see a clock and then an egg timer on the right. Immediately you think that's to set the time of the cooking time for the food item or similar. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm using the toggle wheel to change the food type. There's only 8 food types, so immediately to a user you're thinking it only takes these 8 food types. You have icons on the left denoting it's the microwave function, and on the right above the A, flashing A5, that says auto. I'm not sure why, but it's just an auto. Okay, so if I select, I don't know, pizza. Okay, I've selected pizza. It's not immediate what I need to do from now on, so I'm gonna press that button and then it's not really doing anything, so I think it's this button. Yeah, so it's already allocated a time, cooking time, 4 minutes for pizza, and I had to press the triangle with the dash in it. That weren't clear, you know, so if I stop that, to stop it I press stopped. And then to clear the screen, I think you'd have to press stop. Yeah, so that's cleared it, that's gone back to the time. If we have a look at the buttons, they're not entirely clear on what function they perform. The Hitachi have made use of like icons. There's no labels except for stop, auto menu, so they've considered HCI principles, but at the same time they haven't really made it any easier for the user as to what functions, what the buttons do, and you know what actions they perform. If we I'll try and get a close-up of the illuminated screen. So this is the screen on idle. It's got all the functions highlighted with the time, and as you can see in the top left, because it's my microwave, I kind of know, I know that the top left icon above the time, that's the microwave function, but that button there on the left, that is the microwave function. So there's an inconsistency on the display screen and on the buttons of what function it is. The button on the right there, that is switching from grill and microwave functions. The grill function is the second icon on the top row of squares. So again, that's totally different to that button there. And then you've got these defrost buttons. It's not entirely clear on what they do. Looking at the manual, my wife uses a microwave, so I had to look on the manual what these mean. But the left button is defrosting by weight, and the right button is defrosting by time or duration. Then this button, that would automatically make you think that you're setting the duration, the cooking time duration, but it's actually setting the time. And then the stop button, that clears, that stops the microwave from operating, and it also clears whatever selections you've made. So I'll try and get so I'll try and set the time. So we press this. Okay, if you can. So now we're setting the time. I'm using the toggle wheel to set the time, so that's pretty straightforward. And then pressing the, you'd immediately think that button there will select the hours, but it's not. So I'll press the time button again, and now I'm setting the minutes, which is pretty simple. And then if I try and use the power button, so that's the power button, and then I'm using the toggle wheel to change the power. It's a bit odd, it's going up not in even increments, so we're starting at 10. If I go back to 10, I went right on the toggle wheel and it's gone straight to 100. If I go 10, if I go left, then it's going up. You'd immediately think if you turn the toggle wheel right, it's going to go up, and if you turn it left, it'll go down. So I think the interface for the microwave is a very poor implementation of HCI. They've tried to use like the minimalistic design for the interface, and using, you know, like icons to represent certain functions, but on a safety critical device, this is probably not the best use of HCI for a microwave or any appliance. You probably want, you know, warnings and, you know, clear labels as what buttons do what. Obviously, if I want to do the grill, I'll try and get that screen up. Okay, I press the grill button. Now it's not clear as to what I need to do, so you'd obviously need to use the instruction manual to get the most out of this microwave. As far as user interfaces go, they should be, a good user interface should be able, you know, it should be intuitive. So you should, after a couple of tries, you should be able to use the microwave fully without referring to documentation. But as with all like electrical appliances, especially like washing machines and microwaves, their interfaces are usually poor in comparison to things like, you know, game consoles and computers, because their main functionality is, in this case, microwave, to cook food, so that, you know, they disregard, you know, like the user interface. You know, their main functionality is to cook food, so if that, you know, if a microwave cooks food, they kind of cut corners on, you know, how the user is gonna interact with the microwave. Obviously, I think this microwave was, I think it was under £50, so, you know, it goes to show, you know, like the more expensive microwaves will probably have a better user interface. And I think that's about it for this evaluation of this microwave. Again, this is a very poor example of user interaction with a computer system. Obviously, when they're designing the microwave, they haven't approached users, you know, when deciding on how to design the interface. They haven't done any user testing. I think they've just, you know, knocked out the product, and that's about it. They haven't really spent any research and development into the user interface. They've tried to use aspects of a user-friendly user interface, but I think it hasn't achieved what they were trying to achieve. If anything, it looks pretty complicated. There's icons there. They're not consistent with the display, and, you know, like the stop icon, it looks more, you know, like a play button on a VCR. You know, like stop, they could have used like a round circle with a square in it to denote stop. But what does stop mean? You know, I use stop to clear, so they could have put stop/clear and then had their little round icon. But I think it's more they're trying to use a lot they're trying to sell the microwave with this user interface, but it's not very informative, and you'll be referring to the documentation just to get the basic functionality of the microwave. Obviously, there's you can use trial and error to, you know, use the microwave, but again, with appliances, it's not usually recommended that you use trial and error. You should, especially things with microwaves and ovens, it should be clear on what certain buttons do what, and their target audience for this appliance, you know, should really determine on you know, how the user interface interacts with the microwave. I think it's quite a poor example. It's very, the icons make it very complicated, and it's very inconsistent with the display. I think that's about it for this walkthrough of a bad example of a HCI. Okay, thank you.